Hey guys, POEtrade Gamer here. I wanted to give you guys a quick little video on how to use POEtrade. There's been a lot of people on my channel that they don't necessarily get kind of how to do everything, how to look for gear on POEtrade, and how to I don't know, use it to your advantage, hunt for gear, all that. I'm gonna give like a maybe 15-minute video on how to search for gear. What we're actually going to be focusing on is this piece of gear here. Earlier today, I had looked through my shop tab, and I remember I found a quiver. This is the quiver that I was using. I found a quiver that looks like this. So it has everything the character is looking for. The lightning and the life roll a little low, and by little I mean a lot low. But the damage is exactly what we want on the build. This one's got okay life, but super low lightning resistance, and what that did is it dropped my resistances down. I'm 9 away from from cold and lightning to get capped again. Because whenever you're in your hideout, you need 135, just so you guys know that, to be capped and merciless. So just remember that number 135, and you'll be good. So these gloves, they're okay. They're good for damage. They have actually a lot of damage on them, but they could be better. I think we bought them for like 1 or 2 chaos. So I figured I'll try to find a better pair of gloves that max our resistances and still maintain some good DPS. So we'll do that now. Essentially, what we're going to want to do, POE.trade is the website that we use for trading. This is widely used across pretty much all of Path of Exile. You're going to use this website if you want to look for gear. Because the procurement Inquisitor, I think, or Inquisition, procurement Inquisition, I think are the two programs that people use for trading. And of course, if you have a public stash tab, now that you can just right click on the item after you make it public. I don't know if you guys know, I probably should, but make it public, and then you're able to like right click on an item and just price it. And then POE.trade searches every 3 minutes for your loot, your gear in this tab that's priced or not even priced. As long as it's in this tab and you have it set to public, it'll show. But anyways, so this is what we'll be using. This is what everybody's using. So for what we want to do, when you first look at this this layout here, you're like, holy crap, there's all kinds of different things. First thing you start off with is your league. Make sure you put whatever league you are in. Currently, right now, obviously, is Parandus. You can go Parandus Hardcore, Standard, or Hardcore. So you want to make sure you have your league correct, or else you're going to have some confusing conversations with people because they won't know what the hell you're talking about. You'll be in a different league than them, and that's no good. Next thing is type. This is what kind of gear you're looking for. So for our instance, we're using gloves. So you can type in gloves, or you can scroll down to armor type, and then you can click on gloves. Next thing is base. Base I typically almost always leave just as any, because I typically don't care. As long as it has the stats I need, I don't really care what the base is. But as far as crafting purposes go, if you're looking for a specific high base item, this would be something you would look for. Next thing you look through is offensive. This section here is mainly for your weapons. You're typically not going to fill out any of this for gloves. But if you want weapons, you can do like paper DPS, or physical DPS of a certain number, elemental DPS of a certain number. If you're looking for certain attacks per second, if you're looking for a certain crit strike, these are all things that you can look for. We're gonna really focus on the bottom half here, defense. So if you're looking for a specific defense type, so if you're looking for a full evasion set, you're gonna want to put in like, I don't know, 50 to 100 if you're looking for gloves. This will at least eliminate all armor, all energy shield. You might still get hybrids of each, which depending on the stats might not be so bad. But for our purposes, I'll put 100 in. It should eliminate most hybrids, so we should get pure evasion gloves, which is what we want, because this character is acrobatics. If you're not acrobatics and you're looking for armor and evasion as combination or whatever, you don't have to put this. You can just look at all available gloves. But I'm looking specifically for evasion. Past that, you could be picky and try to get 4-socket, 4-linked gloves, so you don't have to do it yourself with jewelers and fusings. If you're looking for something like a unique that doesn't roll too many stats or whatever, You could easily just look for specific, 4 socket or 5 socket or 6 socket, whatever, and then however many links. So you just put. So if you're looking for four socket gloves, you could type in 4 as the minimum because you only want 4. If you don't want to use any jewelers, and then links you could type in 4 here, and then you'll only see 4 linked, 4 socketed gloves, and that could limit your search by quite a bit because not everybody's going to link the stuff for you. Like, so now we're going to focus on this is probably the most crucial portion that a lot of people they don't really necessarily understand what to do, how to work it out. These mods. Typically, I add a couple lines. If I'm looking for more than one thing, I add a couple lines, just so you can have. It doesn't matter how many lines you add or however little or however many you have, as long as you're just filling them out as you go. And if you don't fill them out, you just close them out, or you can leave them blank. It doesn't matter. So for our gloves, what we're looking for, pretty much this is what you do for every character. You're like, what do you need? What do you want these gloves to have? What role do you want them to fill? Do you want a lot of max life? Do you want specific resistances? Do you, exactly just those things. What do you need them to do? So for us, you'll see this long list of just implicits, prefixes, and suffixes, or we can just call them affixes. The nice thing you can do is you can just type in, I want life. Boom, life. I always do total life because this will include how much max life it has on it, as well as if it has strength or all the attributes. And this will give you a specific number because strength adds life. This will account for that. If you don't want something that has strength on it because it may take up like a prefix or whatever, you're going to want to use the one that doesn't say total. So when you type in life, you can see down here, that's percentage. Where's max life? Right here, plus number to max life. So you want to also pay attention, number to max life or percentage to max life. So essentially it's saying percentage to max life. You'd really only find that on like, I guess, Belly of the Beast and specific uniques and jewels. So you're pretty much always going to, I almost always 100% of the time use this. Very rarely do I ever change it from plus number sign to maximum life as a total. It doesn't typically cause too many issues. Next thing we want on our character, we need 2 resistances, and it already has 32 cold resist. So we need to compensate, so we need 9 more cold resist, because that's the cold resist, or that's what we need. We need a total of 41 cold resistance for these gloves. So what you do is you just type cold res, click, and then we're going to put a value here. We need a minimum of 41. It doesn't matter. So minimum of 41. Don't bother putting a max. Then we need lightning resistance. I can leave lightning resistance blank, but for now, we'll go back to that. So we need lightning resistance. We need 9. You typically, if 9 is going to be so low that you probably don't even have to put a number, but for all general purposes, we'll say 9. We also, for this specific build, we stack a lot of lightning damage, so you can type in lightning damage, and you're going to want to put lightning damage number to a number because they always give the brackets, whatever 1 to 31 lightning damage to attack, so you click that. Now, when you do minimum and max of this, it's actually going to be the average damage of, like, if it's 1 to 30, it'll say the average damage. So for this, I typically leave blank because it's difficult to find. If you're looking, between 1 to 72, what's the average damage of that? It's like 40-ish, something like that. It makes it awkward. So I just say, I just want it on the gloves. And then I'll sort it. You can sort it later on. I'll show you by those stats. And then, of course, we want attack speed. So increased increased total attack speed. Now, this is a lot of stuff on here. There's a good chance that there won't be gloves like this because I did search earlier. So then you hit search, everything else is good. Okay. So this is actually pretty cool. So there's 1 pair of gloves for 5 chaos that meet our criteria. The life roll is pretty low. Attack speed is pretty high. We lose lightning damage. So right now we're comparing it to these gloves here. So these have 87 max life, 12 attack speed, 32 cold, and no lightning. So we would get 40 lightning, which is a little overkill. Good roll though. I mean, that's not bad at all. At this point, what I could do is remove the evasion down to just whatever, and then search again. And this did bring up a pair of armor gloves that are pretty much the same thing, but they're armor instead of evasion. They're almost exactly identical, which is kind of funny. Now, what I could do is if I wanted to wait, and I might not because I just want to make sure I'm capped so I can do maps after this video. There's this button here that says click here to perform this search in live mode and be notified instantly when a new item matching your criteria is posted. So we could say, okay, well, we don't really want to deal with armored gloves. So you hit this, sorry, close that. Hit the search button. And then those gloves come up, but you're like, okay, well, I want more lightning. I'm willing to hold out if you were willing to. You say, I'm willing to hold out. You click this search button. And what this is going to do is this is going to refresh the page once every 5 seconds, and it's going to look for that item every 5 seconds. And it'll make this notification sound, and it'll put like a little red number 1 at the top here. And it'll make the notification sound and say, hey, we found an item that matches your criteria, and you can kind of sit on it, and you can just wait. And just when you're online, just once you hear that, look over and go, okay, what popped up? And you can do this for all kinds of gear. Yeah, this is what you can do when you're searching for a piece of gear and you need specific stats. Go through what I did. Some other things you can do with the search form, besides mods, you'll notice there's another section down here. If you're looking for like gems of certain quality, if you're looking for like an 18 quality, you can put like minimum 18 quality. I suggest doing that. If you buy an 18 quality gem, and if it's like 6 or 7 chaos cheaper than a 20% quality, you can just use 2 GCP and get it up to 20, and you save currency that way. If you're looking for maps, you can do tier maps here. If you're looking for specific item levels for item level based, you can look here. A rarity, there's a rarity finder. You can search for just specifically uniques or whatever rarity you're looking for. If you know the specific seller name from like a forum post or something, you can search their seller name. Same thing with thread ID. If you're using like Procurement or Inquisition, I hope it's called Inquisition, I actually don't remember. It starts with an I and it ends with Ishin. You can use this thread ID that they get from the forum post, and it'll find out whatever's in their forum post, whether it's identified or not. Corrupted, this is like if somebody's evolved something. You can say, I don't want to see any corrupted, blah blah blah, because there's a lot of uniques that come up. They come up as corrupted, and they're typically the cheapest first. And if you don't know what corrupted is, nothing can be changed on that whatsoever. So when it says corrupted, you're going to probably want to say no unless you want it to be corrupted. So use that. Always check this online. Very rarely do I like uncheck it. Although a little tip, sometimes this isn't refreshed like when somebody's online or offline. So if you hit search when they're offline, or I'll finish the sentence. So you search people like this one right here. I would want this really badly. Person's not online apparently, but you can still try. You can try to message them. Probably 9 times out of 10 they're going to be offline, but you could monitor it and kind of camp them and see when they come online next, and add them as a friend and see when they come online, and then try to get that item. If it's a good enough item and it's a good enough price, this is something you can do. And you can also see what I was going to say before. You can see the value. If you search for something and there's nothing, like if you do a live search when they're online only and you find no results, uncheck the online only. And this is for like if you're trying to do like a price check on something. Like typically when I find something and I price it and nothing comes up, I know it's good typically, unless I put something in wrong, because you can choose the wrong thing and then like nothing will show up, and it is a little intimidating at first. You do learn as you go. I'm not saying this is going to be perfect, but you can always come into my channel, and the link will be posted down below. It's just twitch.tv/thepaleogamer, and you can ask, hey, what am I doing wrong? Et cetera, or I can explain things, whatever, on stream. But yeah, you can do searches. If they're offline, it doesn't mean their price is necessarily wrong. You can kind of see, okay, so these gloves are up here for 5 chaos, these are up here for 7, these are up here for 3. So this guy probably searched for offline and said, okay, well, the in between 3 and 7 is 5, so he's going to price it for 5 because that's about how much they're worth for those specific stats. And then, of course, you can start just seeing like what's available, what the gloves can roll, all kinds of cool stuff. The POE.trade is awesome. I wish every action RPG had something similar to this. Like if Grim Dawn had like a good trading page like this, it would make Grim Dawn a hell of a better game. Still a good game. It's just I think POE right now for me is filling a void of what Grim Dawn hasn't. The end game is not as great. That's another story though. But anyways, so if you guys have any questions or comments, feel free to list them down below in the comments section. Like or dislike the video and subscribe, please. Would greatly appreciate it. And like I said, if you guys have any other questions, feel free to stop by my channel. I'm gonna try to do a video like this probably once a week, just on kind of different things that I'm learning about the game. I think this was a big one. I'm gonna probably do a couple more of these POE.trade things. Like for instance, how to search for certain items, maybe a little bit on crafting. I'm still kind of new to crafting. I've played this game so much, but there's still so much more to learn. So it's cool. But yeah, I'll talk to you guys later.